So, hello. Following the example of the previous nuns who have spoken about some retreat experiences, I'd like to just share a few things. First of all, you need to know that Australia is a very civil country. If you've been an employee an employee for 10 continuous years, they give you what's called long service leave. And so last summer, imagine my delight when the director came to me and said, "You're eligible for long service leave. You have 3 months of paid vacation." So I started thinking, retreat, where am I going to go and do retreat? And I noticed that I wanted to do Lam Rim retreat, and I noticed that the retreat this year at the Abbey was Lam Rim as well as the Refuge Nundro. And so I thought it was a good excuse to come to the Abbey and spend some time. So I'd like to begin by saying that it's such a pleasure to be part of a community of monastics and lay practitioners who share a passionate commitment and a common purpose. It's really a joy, the way you all pull together. So I was more interested in the Lam Rim aspect of the retreat rather than the Nundros, but Venerable children convinced me that it was a good way to accumulate merit, and so I went along with that. And I divided the session into the first half being the Nundro part, doing the recitations of the Refuge Nundro, Namo Gurubhye, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharma, and Namo Sangha. And then the second half of the session I devoted to meditating on the Lam Rim. And so I thought there might be people watching this who didn't know about the Nundro practice, and so I'll mention some of the key parts of that, and also encourage people to give it a try, even if just for a day, maybe not a 2.5 month retreat, but at least a day of 4 sessions of doing this recitation. Because one of the things that stood out for me is the beauty and the benefit of keeping the mind in virtue, and especially focusing on the refuge objects, the 3 jewels. While with the Refuge Nundro, while reciting the specific homage to the Guru, to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, there are many things to think about as well as to visualize. So, for example, beginning with reciting as many times as possible, this formula, Namo Gurubhye, Namo Gurubhye, Namo Gurubhye, you think of the Guru as being one in essence with Shakyamuni Buddha. And so you spend time thinking of the excellent qualities of the Gurus. Their positive qualities, qualities of their body, speech, and mind, as well as their thinking of their vast scriptural knowledge and realizations of the Dharma, thinking of the various sacrifices and hardships that they've gone through to meet the Dharma, to engage with the Dharma, and to transform their minds, and recalling their amazing compassion and kindness in teaching the Dharma, especially to people who may not follow their advice or complain a lot or things like that. And just thinking about their tireless effort to benefit others, doing different things like writing books and creating different opportunities for students to accumulate merit and purify their minds. So it's a very joyful practice, actually, and helps us to generate faith, thinking about the qualities of the Guru, or the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, depending on which one you're on. And then you spend some time recalling all the negativities created since beginningless time in relation to that refuge object. So specifically, for example, things like in relation to the Guru, disregarding our Guru or spiritual mentor's instructions and advice, disturbing their minds, criticizing them, misappropriating their belongings, getting angry with them, speaking harshly to them, even endangering their lives. Perhaps we've done that in a previous life. And so generating that sense of regret, then we imagine purifying light and nectar flowing from the spiritual mentors, the Gurus, one in essence with Buddha Shakyamuni, as well as the entire refuge field, either rays of white light or 5-colored light flowing into you, and of course all sentient beings, because we're doing this practice for the benefit of all beings, not just for ourselves. Cleansing all the negativities from our body, speech, and mind, and then imagining that all these negativities vanish, they're completely gone. And then imagining the blessings and the inspiration of the spiritual mentors, body, speech, and mind, and the enlightened activities in the aspect of golden light coming into the body, speech, and mind, and bringing all the realizations, all the qualities of the Guru, one in essence with Shakyamuni Buddha, and the refuge field as well. And so these enter our body, speech, and mind, and the mind, body, speech, and mind of all sentient beings, bringing the inspiration that we need to continue on the path. And then you strongly feel that you have truly come under the protection of that refuge object. So of course no one can give you that experience. You have to do it yourself to get it. And it changes day by day, doesn't it? Depending on how we're doing the practice. So I just found it to be such a beautiful practice. And again, one that people can easily do in a day, in a weekend, or maybe if you have 3 or 4 days, just setting aside time to do 4 sessions. I noticed that Venerable Chodron suggested that people start with the doing the Nundro with the Buddha, then the Dharma, the Sangha, and then coming back to the Guru, which I think is a really valid point. So once I finished the refuge Nundro, then I had the idea to start on the mandala Nundro. I've done mandalas, individual mandalas, for years, decades. I've never done the Nundro. I've never felt inspired to do the Nundro. But I figured if Lama Tsongkhapa could offer 1,800,000 of them and get some realizations, then perhaps it was a worthwhile practice. And so they say that offering the mandala is an extremely powerful method for accumulating extensive merit and receiving realizations quickly. And so you imagine offering countless universes, various jewels and other desirable objects to the merit field. And this made my mind unbelievably happy. I can understand now why generosity is the first perfection. There's such a benefit, an immediate benefit, as well as the long-term benefits. So I found it very liberating to continuously offer all that I own. I was thinking of all the belongings I brought in my 4 suitcases, as well as the 2 small retirement accounts I have, and 2 boxes of books. Mostly what I brought was books, and what I left in Australia was 2 boxes of books, and a couple of framed prints. Maybe they'll get here one day. Then in addition, imagining offering all the goodness in the world, all the beautiful sights and sounds and smells and tastes and tactile senses, as well as all the objects of enjoyments, and especially all the objects of attachment, freely offering these to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And that also can be such a powerful, such a liberating practice. Because after all, attachment is probably the biggest hindrance to a lot of our spiritual realizations. And so you have a collection of rice and other things that you might have collected. Another delightful aspect of that practice was just looking at all the things in my mandala set that various friends had given me over the years. Just before I left, one friend gave me a tiny silver turtle charm that has a little golden, it's got this circle at the end. Probably it's what attaches it to the charm, but it looks like the yoke that the turtle is going to put its head through. So every time that would come up, it would remind me of Precious Human Rebirth. I have 2 small pink pearls from Geshe Tashi Tsering, and every time those would come up, I would think of him and his amazing kindness. There's a beautiful big piece of pink quartz from Annie Marg, one of the older nuns at Chenrezig who recently died, and so I'd think of her. Also, one friend gave me a packet of fake diamonds of various sizes, and it was amazing how wonderful that was. Every time they'd come up, I'd think, yeah, I'm offering diamonds, thousands of diamonds, countless diamonds. Universe is filled with diamonds. And so again, I just encourage people, if they've never done that practice, just to start. Now, I nowhere got near 100,000 mandala offerings, and so that'll be a project for a future time. But even the few I did, I felt was so beneficial. And of course, we need a good amount of merit to continuously be able to go deeper in the Dharma, to listen and hear and really be able to apply the Dharma. So I can see how that's a very valuable practice and one that I look forward to getting back to. So that's probably enough. So we'll stop there. Thank you.